Do you ever find yourself wishing you could just sit down and do a simple project with all of the materials assembled for you, that you don't have to comb through the stores or your own supplies, but it's all together for you? If so, I've got something new you might enjoy. Hi there, Sandy here. Welcome to another Friday Findings video at keepsakecrafts.net. So there is a new subscription service in town, and it's called the Facet Jewelry Box. This is something new by the folks from Bead and Button magazine. This is actually the first month that they're putting it out, and they sent me a couple to show you. What's really cool is that you actually have two choices. You can choose one or the other or both. There's basic stringing, and then there's also stitching. Now, you know me, I make videos every week. I come up with my own ideas, so sometimes it's nice to really not have to think about it and just get something that you can put together without any thought. I do kind of like kits for that reason on occasion. So this is obviously the stitching kit, and in every box you get two projects. I really like the box. It's a nice size. I like this little divider. You can take it out if you don't want it, but I think this will be fantastic to save for later for tucking away a project where you have assembled all of your materials or you're working on putting together something. So you get everything you need to make the project, except of course the tools. And every project comes with a little instruction book. So this is the rondelle pendant necklace, and you get step-by-step directions showing you how to put it together. Really nice clear photos, and they even reference videos that they have on their website that will show you how to do these steps if you're a newbie. But even if you're not new, if you're an old hand at this, sometimes it's just fun to get new ideas and inspirations, maybe combinations you wouldn't have thought of. I don't do a ton of bead stitching, so this looks like a fun and interesting way of doing it. That's really cool. These are stitched links that all link together to make a bracelet. So you get the fire line that you need and the beads. Oh, it looks like you even get a needle. That's nice. So this is for the bracelet, so that's nice. Everything for each project is in its own baggie. So, and it's labeled clearly what they are. And yep, there's the needle and all of your clasps and your jump rings and the different sizes of seed beads. And this is for the necklace. You get your crystal rondelles, seed beads, wire and a needle, and the findings. These are $24.95 if you only order 1 month, and then the more you order, the less they go down to. The lowest, I believe, is $23 for a month, which is pretty good if you consider that you've got everything to make two complete projects. You don't have to spend money on gas, on shipping. It's all put together, and you've got these great instructions that you can continue to use later on to make your own projects from stuff in your stash. This reminds me of the Pearl Party bracelet that I made. I'll have a link to that up in the upper right here for you. But it's in necklace form, and just like the other ones, you get everything you need, the findings, the beads, and there's some quartz briolets to make a pair of wire-wrapped earrings. Here's the first of the projects that I completed. This is the one that they call the Pearl Cascade necklace, and I enjoyed making it. It was a bit time-consuming. There are 39 little bead dangles here. They had really good directions for making a simple loop, so if you're new to beading, the directions were easy to follow. I did, however, make one according to their directions, and then I got out my one-step looper, which I highly recommend for any project with this many loops. But I'm rather pleased with it. None of the materials are particularly expensive. They're on the cheaper side, but for somebody who's learning, just wants to do a simple project, this is a nice one. It came with a few extra head pins, which is nice because they're already kind of hard, and actually a few broke on me. If you have to tweak them back and forth too much to get them closed, some of them snapped. So I was glad for the extras. A couple extra jump rings, good directions, lots of tips. So a nice project all in all. I will say one of the things about a service like this is that you don't necessarily get colors that you would choose. Maybe you end up with things that aren't your favorites. That can be good in that it maybe gets you out of your comfort zone. Of course, you always have the directions and the design, so you can go ahead and make it again and again using the materials that you have in your own stash. In fact, what I did here on the directions, you can see, I actually wrote how many were in each package, so that if I want to redo it, I know just how many they used to get that nice cascade effect. The other project in this package were these earrings, and these were fun. They were so quick. This one was kind of time consuming. Making all the loops and then attaching all of them to the chain took a while. These, I actually learned something new. I learned a new way of messy wrapping briolets, and I probably made these 2 earrings in under 10 minutes. The only complaint I had was that the wire came wrapped on a card, when it probably should have come on a spool, because it had to be straightened, and that wasn't anywhere in the directions. So if somebody was a total beginner, they may not have done that, and they may have ended up disappointed with their results. That's kind of a wire wrapping basic, that you want to straighten your wire, and usually it comes on spools so that it isn't quite so badly kinked as this was. All in all, I thought this was a fun box to get in the mail. If you are a beading beginner, what I kept thinking of was that this would be great if there's a young person in your life or somebody in your life who wants to learn how to make jewelry. This would be a nice gift or something for you to work on together, because everything is all assembled. So that was the stringing box. Then here's what I've managed to do with the stitching box. So just like the other one, there are 2 projects in here. I completed one, but this one will take a while. This one was a pretty, not complicated, but just very time consuming. But this one was kind of fun. You can see that I decided to change the colors. They had the blue roundels, which I used, but I didn't really care for the clear beads. Here are the clear beads they sent, and I just decided I wanted to do something different. And so I pulled some 11 O's because it said in the directions that they were 11 O's. I could get some out of my stash and use them, and I'm much happier with this. And this was a fun project. The directions were excellent for right angle weave, which isn't something I've done before, and I enjoyed making this simple little pendant. The stringing is extremely basic, and I thought the directions for adding the crimps and the clasp were really good. So I've got a cute little necklace, very simply done, and that was a nice fun project. So I don't know if it always works this way, but in both boxes there was one project that was fairly quick and one that was kind of time consuming. I don't know if they planned it that way. I wanted to just tell you a few things about this. It was nice. You got some extra crimps, crimp covers, and jump rings, which was nice because you know how these things do tend to travel under your table and disappear. I was disappointed. The needle that I got in this kit, the eye was like closed up, and then when I tried to poke something through to open it, it bent. So I ended up just pulling out my own big eye needles. Thing about this project, like I only got this far. This took, I don't know, these links take a while, and the directions said you were going to make 21 for a bracelet. Oh, so I got this far on it. These beads are so close. These are 11s and these are 15s, and a beginner might not realize that 15s are smaller than 11s. So don't get confused. If you need to, pour some out in your workspace and leave the bag right there above them so you know which is which, because it's kind of important in getting the shape that you want for your tubular peyote stitch to use the correct ones. And again, this one came with all the findings that you need, including quite a few extra jump rings and really good instructions. This is not any kind of bead stitching that I've ever done. And the directions were very clear. There were great diagrams, and I really enjoyed doing it. If you enjoy having kits all put together, having the materials assembled, perhaps you don't like shopping for beads, or you don't want to have much of a stash of leftovers, this might be a service that you would enjoy. I'm a fairly experienced jewelry maker, and as you know, I like to come up with my own designs. So I don't know that this is something that I would subscribe to on a regular basis. I enjoyed putting together these projects today, and I thought that they were thoughtfully done with interesting projects and good instructions. If you want to learn more, you can go to my blog post. There's always a link in the upper right of the video and also down below in the description box. And I'll have more information there. So thanks for watching. Happy creating. Bye-bye.